Good morning. It is Wednesday. That means it is House Tours Day, folks, and we have a few for you to peruse. Let me go ahead and put my tweet out. We're visiting Dominion homes today. Okay, that is sorted and looks like we're good to go. Just a heads up, I will probably be going ahead and taking off Thursday and Friday, and we're just going to start up fresh on Monday. Um, I've just been having a really rough week or two. I've got a stomach virus, so it's been disrupting not only my sleep but my eating and everything, and been having a lot of side effects uh, from that. I'm feeling better, so that's good. I'm on a special diet, and they've given me a couple of pills that I have to take throughout the day. So we're working on getting it sorted. It's mostly a matter of just healing up my stomach so that I can handle less bland foods. I'm kind of on just like white stuff, white rice, white bread, plain potatoes. Can't have any fat or anything. So it's kind of yucky, but it's necessary. I can't have like too many spices and stuff like that. No fruits, nothing acidy. Um, but yeah, just been chugging down the water and trying to keep things good. I had a little bit of like dizziness and stuff because of it, because well, I don't want to get into all the symptoms, but let's just say I was losing a lot of fluid in various ways. So I needed to replenish that, and it's really drained me. So on the plus side, I've been sleeping better through the night once I get to sleep. It's getting to sleep that's the toughest part, because uh, it feels like my stomach has had somebody been punching on it like a punching bag, and it's uncomfortable at times. So but once I get to sleep, I'm like gone, I'm out, which is unusual because usually I'm a pretty light sleeper and I tend to wake up well before the sun rises. That's what happened this morning, but that was because it wasn't because I was sick or anything. It was some weird animal. I don't know, some kind of bat or something was hooping and hollering and woke me up. And so I thought, well, I'll just get up and get things ready for today. So here we are. We're going to do the house tours again. We're not going to be here tomorrow or Friday. I know it's the start of the month, and it would be ideal if I could go ahead and give you guys the new theme for next month's CBDC, but we're going to hold it off until Monday. I hope you guys don't feel too badly about that. I'm kind of excited about it. I've already put together a sample item so that when we come in Monday, we'll have something to kind of look at, to use it as an example of what I'm thinking of that you guys could build. But it's very open. I think there's going to be a lot of ways people can take it, and I'm hoping that that will encourage more people to participate this time than the last. Um, so yeah, let's get started. Dominion House Tours. This is the plot of, and I'm going to get this name wrong, um, Freljord Aurelian? Freljord Aurelian? It's a strange name. I'll spell it on the thing and everything. So, oh yes, thank you, Poi. And good morning to you both, Bones and Poi. Um, Just reminders, it is one, it's maintenance today. That's supposed to land at 4 a.m. PDT, 1 p.m. CEST time. It's supposed to last an hour and 40 minutes according to the post. So be aware of that. And then, as Poi pointed out, this weekend is also double XP explosion event. It means for September 2nd through the 5th, you'll get double experience. So it's a great time to level up any neglected alts that you might have. I know that's something I probably should be doing. I know Melon could stand a little leveling, but I probably won't be getting to it. I'm just going to be taking a break, a big long break. I keep saying that I took one last week, but it was like there was no break because I was so miserable. But yeah, so take advantage of that if you can. I know Legion is out as well. I know I was probably not supposed to be promoting other games, but for a lot of guilds and such, things have kind of gone quiet because of yesterday's launch. Um, for those that participate in other games than WildStar, yes, there are other games than WildStar. It kind of clashes with that launch, but hopefully folks will still have an opportunity to spend some time in WildStar and make use of the double XP. It doesn't come around often. It is pretty regular, but not like every weekend or anything. It's, I don't know, is it like once every 2 months or something? Something like that, I don't know. Anyway, speaking of new things, we do have the new Hedges decor pack. Let me just call that up real quick. You'll see it right there, the Topiary decor pack. If you haven't checked it out yet, now's a good opportunity. It's relatively inexpensive, I think, for the amount of pieces that you get. It's in, let's see, housing, decor, yeah. You get like 4 of the hedges, WildStar, 4 of the small hedges, a Dawn Grazer, 4 of the rectangular, a Girock, and 4 of the singles. So 4, 4, 4 of all of the basic ones. For those of you that have been dying to make your own personal hedge mazes and stuff, this is a great opportunity. 115 omnibits. It's not too bad, especially for those of you that have been playing pretty regularly, but yeah, so and of course we do have the Madame Faye stuff, the retro things. I think people have been showing off their Tetris Fab Kit and all that. Just a lot of nice stuff being released, and of course the Red Moon Terror raid and the unlock of Palavar Point. That's been getting us a lot of like sewage pipes and things. I've been farming a lot of those with my husband. Of course, we haven't done that in a couple of days, but I've been trying to pick up some extra because I think it'll work really good on Melon's plot. But got a little stockpile. Haven't been to his plot in a while. Anyway, so yeah, enough about that. Let's just get to the houses. So this is Eldon Castle by Freljord. You start off, this is the entrance here. If you recognize it, it's the Eldon Dome decor, where it has like these little missing pieces. And there's a entrance here and one over here. We're going to take a look. I don't think it leads to any place different. Yeah, it's just happens to have an entrance over here as well. But you can see some of the new boss decor here. You've got Metal Mall Prime and King Plush. Honestly, can't remember how you get those. I'm kind of at a blank. But you can see it's pretty Eldony. It's all Elden walls. That's what gives that nice shine. And the sky is, I want to say it's the regular nighttime sky, but it could be a different one. It's a little darker. But you can see like there's the, oh, what's it called? The cerulean sky growth. Some Elden, I call them wing thingies, but I'm sure that's not what they're called. Some rubble as well. I believe there's even some fab kits, some Elden fab kits being used out here. Let's see if I can I like how they've lined the edges of this one with the mushrooms and like made it a little flower shrine kind of thing. Yeah, here's some. They've got like the Eldon excavation fab kit, which, you know, sometimes those aren't as easy to meld into a particular theme unless you go full on Eldon. But I think this is one of those, oh, what do you call them? Expedition things? Housing expeditions? This is the way you come, if you go under Metal Maw's leggies there, you'll come up on this interesting area here, even some of the new bits there. Yeah, Bones, I really wish they had added the hedges, at least the regular ones, directly on the housing vendor, because stuff like that, like trees and rocks and things like that, I consider like building blocks, especially for those of us that, you know, are really into the landscaping and such. And it seems kind of counterintuitive to lock them all behind cash purchases, even if you do get to spend Omnibits, which is a freebie currency. It still takes a long while, and for someone that's working on a pretty expansive project, that can be a hamper to it. Um, like for me, if I wanted to build a hedge maze, I'd probably just use existing items from the housing vendor. It might end up being costing me a lot of plat or something, but it would be quicker for me, and I would I would be less inclined to. You know, I'm not really typically when I buy a pack, it's like I buy one. Like I've bought one of the hills, one of the summer decor, one of the Valentine. I don't get multiples of them because I don't know. I figure if I spend all my Omnibits on that, something else will come out and I'll regret it. But yeah, so I really wish they hadn't, you know, the topiary shapes like the WildStar and all that. Sure, I can see that being on the cash shop as being something special, but the regular ones, I really wish they had added those directly to the housing vendor. Here's the hatch house that's here. Can't remember if they actually put anything in it. Okay, yeah. It's kind of like a museum type of thing for Eldon artifacts. Just a few little display cases. Again, it's just cylinders and curved glass to build those. Just some random trinkets, a little bit of Macari stuff in there as well. I like the entrance though, the way they sandwich that off with those, I don't know what you call those things, some kind of Eldony bit. But the real prize for this is the Eldon Castle itself. You can get up on this thing here. I like the way they've done the entrance. It's the Eldonite or Exonite walls, Eldonite, the Exonite walls, but then they've got the little pillars and using those as accents around the door. It's strange that it comes out as a different color, but there's a little garden, that Eldon fountain there. Now, apologies for anyone that has blindness effects. Bothersome because this is a very bright building. Yes, the column. And yes, I knew somebody that used it as a knife said I couldn't. Yeah, maybe they'll use Elvenite. They'll list it to me. I get the terminology so wrong. So this is the main, I don't know what you call it, foyer, meeting room, grand room. There's a little bit of a throne here. Again, I don't know what sky they're using because everything seems really dark, but got the little throne up on top of the thing. Using the datascape windows, there's some more of those column things. But you can see how the exonite wall isn't really a light. It doesn't count as a light, but it really gives off that, it almost looks like a barrier thing, the way it shines. But they've just made this entire structure out of exonite. Here's the dining hall. Just using a couple of the Dominion conference tables. It's a long dining table. Got a little bit of an entertainment stand coming along here. Everybody's liking those new NPCs. I don't really get into the NPCs too much. I liked the Protostar one, but I only managed to get a hold of one during the event that it was available. Here's the like the church kind of thing. They're kind of wealthy churchers. I think this is meant to be like not the organ. It could almost, you could almost make it like add some keys and stuff, and you've got a little piano organ thing. But I think this is like the little podium where the preacher comes and stands and does his little sermon or whatever. But it's just I think it's a couple of bookshelves sandwiched together, and then that yucky old brown wooden table, and then a lantern lamp thing sticking out of it. It's a little creepy looking, is what it is. And then I like where they have the candles over here, where you light a candle for remembrance of somebody. It's just a series of those metal tables seared off. I like how they kind of blink, you know, burn in unison there. Yeah, it was a treat. When I first came here, I was like, wow, I don't know if this is going to go off good. But we toured, what was it, Sorona's place last week. So I thought, well, it was probably fitting that we go ahead and check this one out too. So I'm not sure what this is, like some kind of, maybe it's a telephone system where you're talking, like a Skype system where you talk and you can communicate with these guys, or maybe it's a tracking system. I have no idea. Look at all the stones being used for the staircase here. A lot of exonite. So you know this is an expensive build because I think these are like 25, or is it just 5 gold or something? Pulpit, yeah. Yes, pulpit. In the, see you guys, I'm like so bad with the terminology. I call it thingies and whatchamadoodles and dillywhoppers. But I even like how the glow, it just kind of makes it almost like a shield is what it looks like. But I've seen some clever uses of these, like we've seen them in the bars where they use them as like trim for like a nightclub, and it works really well, or along a pathway. It'd be good like in a darkened theater, making the little track for people walking the line there. Excuse me. So this is the upper floor. Really forget what's all up here. This appears to be the bathroom. The shower area is, it looks like one of those Dominion bunker barrier things, and they're using that as the edge of the tub. Put some winding rivers in there, and it's coming out of the little bot. See how they got that squirting out thing? I've not seen that done before. I've seen other things squirting it out, like the statues and stuff, but I think this is the first time I've seen one using the bot as that. Got a double sink here, and just using a granite floor as the mirror. Very simple. The base of it is, I believe, one of those fancy Dominion dressers, if you're curious. Yeah, I use that a lot. Thingy's usually my go-to though. And my husband hates it because I'll go, the thingy on top of the other thingy, and it's over there by the big thingy. I like give general. It's like, so this hits me as like a parent slash kid room. The kids half is over here because you see the little toys and the bunk beds. But I like the bunk bed idea. We did a CBDC of that way back in beta in an old guild I used to belong to. And one of the challenges was to design a bunk bed thing. And it was funny to see what people would come up with. But this is just two of the Dominion, the comfortable beds, and using Chua pillars for the braces for the top bed, and then a ladder. Boop. And you gotta, it's not even touching. It really should be leaning to touch. Thingamajiggy, yeah, that's a good one. Thingamabob. Well, that's probably why I like the. I saw somebody tweet out uh, something about being an '80s child and their favorite candy bar was whatchamacallit. That was like, yeah, I remember that one. It was probably. This is like the library area slash collectibles stuff. Got like a home office kind of thing going on there. Here's another bedroom. This is like the master bedroom to me. Maybe the other one is like three kids of different ages or something. I find it funny that in all the exile homes that we visit, that they have the exile holographic fireplace. We always cover it up, but in the Dominion home, they actually have it out in full view. I find that very hilarious. I don't know why, but I just thought it was funny. And then a final bedroom. Now I know it's kind of not as custom as we're accustomed to, but I like the idea. I think someone could find uses for, especially looking at how the lighting is affected by the walls and the building blocks themselves. They could come up with some really interesting effects. Isn't that weird? I can like look right through the bottom. um, Personally, I don't think I would want to build something completely out of exonite like this. It's a little too bright for me. I'd probably become blind looking at it and trying to line everything. It's why when we went to Severion's place, I think it was last week, with the big church that they had built, it's like I can't imagine the headache that must have been trying to line them up and looking at that brightness all the time. Um, but yeah, it's just a different take on houses. It's just another example that you don't have to stick with the standalone, come as it is, prefab homes. Um, I even like the way they kind of indicated where the bunker house is. It didn't, I mean, it's exposed, but it's still kind of tied in with the whole theme of the Elden stuff going on. But just some ideas for folks that might be looking for a new material to work with. Like I said, it's not something I would probably pick up on, but you can see they've lined almost the entire plot with the walls and everything. It looks really nice against the blue, and the use of the colors with the green and everything, sticking with the Elden theme, um, really helps. But yeah, it's not my cup of tea. Okay, so the next place we're going to visit is, oh, I'm going to get this one so wrong. Fezra Trinker? Feuer? Oh my gosh, it's Feuer Trinker. Some strange names. This one is called Nexus Hideout. Now, this is clearly a plot that was set up originally on the smaller size plots and has just never been expanded upon once the plot size grew. But I like some of the ideas, especially the use of the willow trees as like I don't know if it's like supposed to be like bushes or like little hills of something. Granted, they don't have collision on the little bush tops, so you can like go right through them, and so the effect is kind of lost when you enter them. But if you just kind of look how it's kind of, I don't know, it's like mossy covered rocks or something, and I think it's an interesting use of them. I did something similar with my old uh, miniature golf park. I used a couple of those as little mountains and had like little miniature lop on them and everything. But I think I actually put something underneath them so that you could actually stand on them. But it's little uses of like trees and things other than the way you would anticipate them being used. I like finding on plots. So this is some kind of weird little landscape thingy. It's like a moss-covered rock. That's what it looks like to me. Again, you can see a little pile of obsidian stones. You got another pile back here. Several fab kits are put in here. Not exactly disguised necessarily. I mean, you got all this green and then pop, there's this nice bright orange one. But I like looking at when people put these like little structures up because again, I'm horrible at getting it to look like it's just comes naturally that way. I mean, look, you put those and then they pop that rock right there. It looks like it should be there. I probably wouldn't think about adding those kind of things. I see something inside there, but I have yet to figure out if I can get in it. Like boxed in. I don't know if it's meant to be like a little hidey hole that just a tease that you can get in there or what. I have yet to figure out how to get in. So if you come for a visit, maybe you can figure it out. Because they're using the, oh, there's the blocks and then there's the one that's got the like, it's like a donut of obsidian rock, and the center of that donut has full-on collision. It doesn't matter how big you make it, you still can't go through the middle. So kind of a sneaky way of having stuff in there without being able to get to it. But I don't see an entrance or anything. But I really like the use of the trees. as like hedges of some sort. I find that intriguing. So there's several different types of, it's kind of like, I take this as like a, I don't know, a home away from home type of thing. I mean, they've got like the party fab kit, they got the meditation, the hot springs, and then it's, I don't know, it's not quite deserty, cactusy, but strange landscaping thing. Off we go into the building and we come up on the bar. Now, probably the highlight of this one is the pool table. We've seen others, but I think this is one of the better ones, and just in how it's using basic items that anybody can get a hold. It's not any kind of special stuff, and they've put it together in a really appealing way. It's mostly metal edge 2x4s and blocks for the corners there. Um, Staircase landings for the side here, and it looks like exile shelves for these sides because you can see part of the shelf here on either side. Then for the pool table itself, it's I believe it's an exile table, and then they're using the very edge, the top edge of a bowl for all the little pockets. Files for the balls, a sporty sphere for the cue ball, and it looks like the edge, I suspect it's one of the hover park pieces. It's fairly long as the stick. I figure it's like the long floor of the hover park, the one with the stripes on it. I can't really tell though, it's kind of hard to see. It could be several 2x4s lined up, but I think a long wall would probably work just as well. Welcome back, Bones. Did you have a good breakfast? I still haven't eaten. That's something I should have done, but I didn't. Got sidetracked with other things, getting prepped for today's show. Notice here the pillars for the supports of the upper floor. Again, that's just a really simple trick of getting one pillar situated, copying it, and just rotating it like 45 degrees to the other one, and you get that nice pillar. You'll see most will stick with just the two. Sometimes you'll have one that'll add a third one, and that just makes it even more pronounced that it's a round column rather than the, excuse me, the square. Let's see, I don't think any specific back here. Nice little bar and kitchen though. Notice the staircase. It's a nice spiral staircase, very smooth, no trouble getting up and down. It's just 2x4s, carefully placed. Railing is the handy dandy ladder. A lot of people like that. It looks good. A nice wood. It's got the little, but it's kind of wonky looking, so it might not fit one that's like really prim and proper and everything's nice and straight. It might look out of place. But it's a good, it's also, even if you don't use the ladder, you can use it as like a guide for spacing if you want. Get your original, your own custom one lined up sort of with it, and then just copy that around. That'll work. Find it funny that they used that lockbox there. I see there's like storage space up here, but I don't see how to get to it. Unless I missed something. Oh, I see. They got a board there. See it? Of course, I can't jump to the silly board. Oh, so close. A simple little jump, and I can't even do that. I keep hitting and bouncing off the top of this thing. Oh, it's so sad. This is why I hate jumping puzzle things. So here's like a little office nook where they got their special belongings and stuff. That's interesting. I didn't even notice that the last time I visited. Of course, then there's the mailbox, this inset. It looks a little different with it stuck into the wall there. I find that an odd placement, but I kind of wish we had that one available. I don't know if this is supposed to be the washing machine that's kind of here, or it was just convenient to kind of block this off because they've actually got it a little walkway built here. Now, the only thing about the walkway is it's not quite wide enough to accommodate somebody walking through straight up. You get stuck right here. I don't know why you can walk down here, but not right at the entrance. I think it's because this sticks out a little bit, and they didn't accommodate for that. But using the flag, the wolf flag, as a cover, again, we have a lot of items that are collision free that you can use in that way, such as um, the hanging sheets on the laundry lines, other banners. There's even some displays that are that way, like the one with the Chua face on it. You make it big enough, you can walk right through the portrait. There's the few monitors that work the same way. Just size them up and you can walk right through it. Makes it handy for, secret passages and stuff. Here's the hallway to the upstairs, and it leads to this little kind of bluesy bar, little strip bar, something. I like the simple couches, the sectionals that they have in here. It's basically just two large Chua pillows on the ends, and then just pillows all the way aligned, and then the base of it is Cassian pillars. Very simple, and yes, the pillows aren't lined up perfect and everything, but I think that kind of goes okay with this particular build, like the ladders being used as a railing because they're kind of a little wonky too. I think it works fine. But if you want to make your own little sleazy bar like this, this here is a sparking wire. You just got the spark part down inside so you can't see it. The stage itself is an actual bar. This part here and this part underneath, that's just the regular bar that you get from the housing vendor. Got those nice little adornments on it, topped with a red exile wall. It looks to be an orange, orange window, and a red moon vent for the pole part. For the stage background, that's just an oversized landscape picture. A lot of people liked for like the background of a theater, a play, stage kind of thing. Seen it in a few other instances, or if they're like wanting to make it like look like there's a window that's underground but you can see outside, they've done that. There's even been some that's done that for like a plot that's basically just a full-on interior, but they've got views of the outside, and this is one way to do it. Others have gone to the extent of actually making shadow box type of vistas where it's got like little trees that they put in, and it looks like a little scene off in the distance, but that's a little bit more complicated. This is a cheaper, easier way to go about. And of course, there's a little dressing room for the lady or ladies or guys that come and perform. And Then you have a little sneaky room, or I don't know, private lap dances or something. I have no idea. But I like, oh, it's just kind of blended in. It looks like a wall hanging, and you just have to kind of go, whoop. That's why in some videos you'll see me like, I'll be like running up against banners and stuff going, can I get through there? I'm like running and just checking to see if it's really meant to hide a little hidey hole. So that is, what was it? Bezra Führertrinker? Gosh. I did not make a like a reporter or something because I get everything wrong. Next one is Nat Urist. Nat. This is called Nat Europol. And again, when it comes to some plots that we showcased, it's not necessarily that maybe the overall theme just astounds, or it's even completed, but I like some of the elements of certain places that we visit or I visit, and I want to share it because I figure it will spur some fun ideas for others. So this particular plot is incorporating a lot of oversized items. You see like the oversized spaceship doors or windows, I think it's what it is. This is one of those oversized antennas. There's oversized ships. You can see, I don't know which ship it is, but it's the ones that you get from the completing the expeditions. You randomly get a few. And you'll see how those are incorporated really shortly. Here's some of the new NPCs. I like how this one's got him on a little chain. So it's like he's enslaved the Scud Queen. Poor Queenie. You see this big old tube thing. And again, really oversized ships. You'll see shortly what those are used for. They do have some fab kits. I think this is one of the festival fab kits, and that's, I want to say the workshop, I'm not sure. Looks like various engine parts that they put together. I don't know, there's some ramps here. I don't know if they're planning on adding some more levels or something. I can't even get up this thing. You know, have like some kind of a shop thing built up here. But I like that. I have no idea what part that is, but I like how they've got it enlarged. Sometimes when you get a new item, you want to enlarge it, shrink it, turn it around, see what all sorts of nifty stuff you might can envision use for it. But like this, you see this? This is an enlarged ship right here, and they're using the interior where normally you would see all the ship bits. They've kind of cordoned it off a bit and built up this little workshop area. So it's like a garage, I think. This is where you like come in and have your vehicle checked and everything with the tires and stuff. And then you have the owner's lodging right here. You see, this is just oversized stuff from the ship itself. That's why it looks so big. And see, that looks like a garage door now. I don't know, just an interesting use of that. Because I've never used my ships that I've gotten, and So when I see people use them, I think, that is a fun idea. So like here's some ship parts, exhausts and bits, even some smaller ship parts, making it look like it's a salvage kind of thing going on. And there's that cargo stacker. For those that haven't gotten to it yet, that is a daily login reward. We'll go inside that here in a bit. We'll save that for last. Hey Cheeky, good morning. First we'll go in the ship here. They've just turned it into a really simplified bar. They've got one of those, I think it's a Protostar panel as like the dance floor area, which is nice because it's animated and it's got a little design on it. You can come out here and dance yourself silly. Got a grumpy bartender. Again, really simple, but you know what it is. Then we got a series of ramps that you go up. And this leads you to what I consider the house of the plot. Oh, were you talking about the ships and stuff? Was it you, Tiki, that tweeted that you'd gotten basically reached your decor limit? So again, this is an enlarged spaceship. I don't know which one it is. A Dominion theme looking one, it looks like. And this is that little I mean, this is where like the ramp is to get inside, and they've just boxed it off, covered up like the doorway there with a big picture, the rest of it with exile walls, and made it into a little living space. Here's the bedroom. How funky is that? I mean, it's the same thing they used for the garage down below, but they've just turned it into a little house. It's just weird. Of course, you got the ramp on their side. Of course, you can't go out of it because, but it looks like you like bungee off the edge there. A really nice view though. And notice that the barrier doesn't show up. It's high enough. Come over here. Here's a second one. But they've done the same thing. Boxed it up, covered up what they don't want showing, and turned it into another little living space. If you're not really good with heights, don't come to the edge like that. Oh, was that you, Bones? Which one is it on? Is it on Lauren? Because I'm still waiting to hear when you're done with that so I can tour it. I can't remember who it was that tweeted. I just like retweet stuff, housing stuff, and go, oh yeah, I remember that. Ah, so then I can add that to the tour list then, right? As ready as it ever will be. Oh, nothing, Cheeky. Don't mind me. I get you guys confused sometimes. See, if we were actually in a room, I'd be having you wear name tags and stuff so I didn't forget who was who. Okay, so I think we've seen everything except the big tube. And this, again, is something that a lot of people like to do. You know, it's always fun for folks to be able to find a way to incorporate their fab kits I think we miss this one? I think I missed this one here. Um, Incorporate their fab kits to, I like this. It's like a little apartment place. Kitchen, little bedroom. See, this is the interior of one of those ships. They just decided to run amok with it. Um, what was I saying? Oh, fab kits, incorporating them nicely. And the low grav pads are one of the favorites. So you can see that they've got the little arrows saying you need to go up. The arrows again are those detonator, the little blinky lights on the end. When you're placing those, keep in mind they will blink out of unison while you're placing them, because as you move them, the timer changes. But once you leave the plot and come back, they will blink in unison. Um, so it's not like you can set it up so that, you know how like a runway, like blink, 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 and just like in a series, you can't do that with these. They will just all blink at the same time. You might think you've got it that way when you're first placing them, but it's very quickly gets out of whack. And when you, yeah, Bones is a guy. Oh, well, now see, I probably won't remember that even. Yeah, because you'd have to be like, because cheeky could be either or. Um, cheeky, cheeky girl. I'll have to remember that. Write it in my notes. Oh gosh, I'm pretty tall. Anyway, you got the arrows pointing up, so that gives you the hint that you need to go up. So we hop up, and that takes us to the marketplace. Now it's just a bunch of Chua style tubing. Um, but the bottoms are, this one here is the maintenance platform, and then those are the metal, the graded floor panels. Um, Again, this isn't like super elaborate, but I like the idea behind it and some of the things that they use for it. Like they're using upside down Dominion benches for the booths, the tables, the cabinets, the countertops. There we go. I get to the word eventually. And look at these cute little miniature cages. It's like a pet shop where they're like selling the eggs and the pets and things. This one here is a food vendor. Got a nice little selection of tacos. There's some weaponry, flowers, plants. Here's toys for the kitties. Got to have your librarian books. And then a couple of nondescript ones. This is that one. If you enlarge it really big, you can go straight through the image. It's the portrait thing. So this would be a good place for someone to come and role play, like some kind of like maybe a black market kind of thing, or whatever, and they can come up, set up their stall. Shut up. Yeah, Bucky and Dick. I just get everybody confused. It's like after that little thing with the giveaways that we did for the 50th episode, my husband still remembers who's from where. I think he's just got a better memory than I do. He'll go, "Isn't that the one from such and such?" And I'll go, I don't know. I can't remember. I just had a horrible memory always. It's like my mother-in-law will get to talking about something that we did like years ago, and she'll know every detail, what we were eating, who we were with, probably what we were wearing at the time. And I'm like, I do all to remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, let alone umpteen years ago. It's like that stuff just goes in and out. Like I take in some new information, and like one piece of information goes in and like 50 pieces drop out. I don't retain it very well at all. Okay, so that was Nat Europol plots. Again, it maybe not totally fleshed out, but I love a lot of the little ideas that they use, especially the oversized ships. It's a really good use of those items, um, to use them in a way other than what you would expect. That's, I think, the the favorite thing for me. Okay, next one is Hyane or Hyana Zydox. This is Ice and Frost. Pretty clear why it has its name. This is a good plot to go to if you're interested in seeing some of the Arctera stuff, including some of the NPCs like the Gurok there. I don't know why he's got a bow on his paw. Maybe it's a girl Mauler or something. Her pet, I guess. Um, she's just chillaxing here and feeding him tacos. But he's got a little bow on his paw. I figure they probably would have preferred to put it like on them here, but because it moves, that's the most animated part, it wouldn't look right, so they just stuck it on the paw. But yeah, pretty strange. Let's see. Using a ship as a ship, imagine that. Let me get fueled up here. Taco the bear. I was looking at something on Twitter, people tweeting strange pet names, or I had some really doozies. So here's a little building. They've got it kind of snug with, it's like a little cabin to me. Very compact, but I like all the little details that they add. I mean, a lot of people don't take the time to do the setting for the table and stuff with the forks and the knives, but it's cute when someone does. Look how tiny those little plants are. Here we come out on the balcony, and that gives you a better look at the roofing. I think we've seen this before with using the hover part pieces, the edge piece. It's the same thing I use for like the trophy cabinet on the miniature golf park. A lot of people use it for tables, things like that. Bedroom with a little slave girl in her cage. A little weird. Bathroom. We won't even talk about the toilet. Go past that. I like the construction of this. They did one of the biggest problems I have when I build a custom home is always access to that upper floor. How to make the staircase the nicest. I don't know what system you guys go through, but I usually like build the rooms first before I try to figure out how I'm going to put the stairs in. And it's probably backwards, I guess. I would guess it's probably smarter to put in the stairs first to see where they're going to land, but I like how this is just an archway and it's right at the edge of it, and that's where the stairs start. You have no problem with getting stuck. That's usually the typical thing for me, is the spacing between the upper ceiling and as you're coming off the stairs. I must have it too close or something, because I often get stuck on the stairs and I have to do a lot of adjustment. Hey Siskwy, been a long time no see on here. But I really like this one, and it's just some decking pieces, the corner for this nice little uh, elevation change here. But this is a really smooth one. I like this a lot. I'm gonna have to, I mean, even the way that they built this wall here just kind of seals it off nicely. Stairs are a nightmare for me. They always feel awkward, like they were forced in, because it's probably because I start off backwards. I do it the wrong way. I like how the ice is being used as part of the support of the house as well. Lots of little random bits, but here's like a little stream. It starts with the Taurine Battle Maiden statue. Now, this isn't something I noticed before, but she's got some covering now. I guess it was a little too brazen looking, so they added some mossy bits to her frontal area there. But they've added in some stones and waterfalls to make it look like it's actually coming from the statue itself. And then there's this whole little stream. I mean, look at the care and all the different stones. I mean, there's obsidian rocks, there's swirly rocks, there's gray stones, there's even the log that it goes through. If it was big enough, you could go all the way through it, follow the water to the other end. The little dappling of plants, there's snow-covered rocks, there's snow clumps. It's a lot going on here for just this little bit. Really nicely done, though. I mean, it doesn't look too, you know, for mine, I'd like be using the same stone and just turning it every now and then and still look too uniform. Yeah, I have the same issue. And it's frustrating because then you have to adjust everything. It's like a few times I've made some like hallways, and I'll forget about leaving room for, like, if I want to hang something on the wall in the hallway. Because every time you add more stuff, that kind of shortens the collision, or it makes it bigger. The collision becomes more oppressive, and it gets to where you can't even walk down the hall. It's like, dang it, now I have to make it wider just to accommodate because I want some stuff hanging on it. I don't know. I guess it's just poor planning on my part when that happens. So we have a bit of a fenced-in area here, and I find it amusing. Usually these little grinders are super big, and they're tiny, but they're still got like really huge animation. I don't know if it's because there's maybe a bigger one down below and that's given it, but it looks proportionally weird. The glow, though, I suspect is one of those probably a upside down hovering medical cot thing. Yeah, boy, I noticed that too when I was visiting the other day. because I noticed that you had moved the doduo to his own little habitat there in the front. But yeah, it's one of the things I say, especially if you have like walkways, like hallways and stairs, and any kind of custom house, whatever it is. Do both walking, running, to and fro, coming up, coming down. Check it all because you're bound to come across some weird points. But I'll have to remember that for tour time. Walk it up the stairs. So they're using this little container here as it looks like a bit of a lab to study some of these critters. Just a barbed wire fence, some of those new long holographic panels, and corpses for these poor animals. Again, dome tops, curved walls for those quick and easy canisters. We have that bubbling thing with the eyeball floating in it. That's a great little canister. It would have been better if there was no eyeball in it, or if the eyeball was stationary so that you could put something over top of it and make it look like that's in the container rather than the eyeball. But since that thing moves around, that's kind of gross with the frost spore wiggling around in there. I like this though, having the little snack tray as a hovering little tray there. Kind of cute. It's just simple stuff like that that's kind of goofy that I like. Well, you look pretty all fleshed out with flowers before. You add more? So here's like, in all of this winterscape, um, you have this lush green going on. I mean, the grass is taller than melon is. Just trying to see what they're using as the surface there. Hard to tell. It's rather dark. I suspect maybe just hover part pieces, or it could be the Draken walls, and then they've just covered it with lots and lots of grass. Because notice, from whatever direction I look, the grass looks full, and that's not easy to do because you have to lay the grass like you lay one, and if you're looking at it from a certain angle, you can see right through it. So you have to lay a second one the opposite direction, and they've taken a lot of care to fill it up quite well. But go over here, you have a little, I don't know, maybe this is a offering table kind of thing. But it's a little cave. Got a nice waterfall, some crystals, a deep blue pool. Again, I'm pretty sure this is layered glass here. The combination for the cave of obsidian stone, there's crystals, and then there's the gray stepping stone. Well, it sounds pretty fun. Here, I don't know what this is supposed to be, like a little trap area, but I just like the little accents here. I mean, the swords and the stone. Now, typically this doesn't have this like little window thing, but I think it's a polite thing to do to let people know that you can't go through there. Because if I recognize it, it's again that little donut of obsidian, and you wouldn't be able to get through it anyway, but they've just added the glass to kind of finish it off. Again, the glass, I think it doesn't matter what color you use, whether it's red, green, blue, or whatever. it all becomes pretty much white the more you layer it up. At the start, you'll still see a little bit of color on the corners, but in the middle, it's going to be basically just white the more you layer it up. So for those looking for like frosty windows or to better indicate that there's a panel of glass, you have to add a few layers just to kind of brighten it up. Again, this little glowy effect here, I suspect it's an upside down hovering medical cot, or it could be the, I think it's that one because it's just the one. But the new long one does the same thing, but it's multiples of it. Gives it that ethereal look. I like how they've got the shrooms there where the light is bright. Trying to see if there's anything up there that I'm supposed to show. Oh. Come on, Melon. There we go. Oh, it's just a meteor rock up there. Lots of overgrowth, lots of plants. I don't think I'm supposed to go that way. And that leaves us with the main house, I think. I just want to get a good distance shot of it. See how they've kind of covered it with glacier spikes and sickles and stuff. And you can see that there's a giant frozen critter that's trapped in it. The head is being used as the entrance, and the body comes out the back, and then they've got these little claw bits coming out on the side. Now you will have noticed that they had this little igloo thing. If you didn't see it before, the further away you get, the more the blocks disappear, which is kind of weird. They almost look transparent, like glass blocks. That would be cool, wouldn't it? Glass blocks. But they've got this little igloo thing using the cornerstones for the topper and then just individual blocks. Notice they've left some space in there so you can actually see that it's the blocks. And then using the arches for the doorway, like a little donut doorway here, for a little smoking room with the lop. Well, that was a good shot of creepy Melon there. You can see they've added all these icicles and stuff and just covered up. It's actually a Draken house, I think. The standard prefab version, and they've just covered it up completely with ice and stuff. I think that's a fun way of doing it. This here is a frozen lake to kind of cover up the front end. This part, I think it's one of those new fires from Arcterra. Lots of sickles, but yet it has the chimes, nice cool chimes. And then this is the interior. How fantastically cold is that? Lots and lots of frozen lakes. The icicles, it's They are the ones that like look like overgrowth. It's like I forget what they're called. There's glacier pieces, like the glacier spikes and such. Got a bit of a green glow to it. Like here's this one. It's one big spike, and then it's got another, other spikes coming out of it. And then layered glass to kind of brighten that up for the bits that it's not actually covering. Now, one fun thing is we've seen this demonstrated, I think it was on Trixie's plot, where these particular sickles have no collision. You can go right through them. So it's a fun way, if you have a winter type plot, it's a fun way to kind of make a little hidden entrance of some kind. So see how you can pass right through it? So if there was like a gap there for some other room, you could go right through it and be into the secret passage. So it's really handy. Want to make something clever like that. I don't have the smarts to really pull that off effectively, but I know a lot of people that do. So it's a good idea. Notice they covered all the stairs, icicles, and those white scrabbly bushes, and then I want to say it's the small snow platforms, the ones you can get directly from the housing vendor. There's a large one that also drops, but I think it's a World Boss drop, from which I don't remember. But the short ones are available straight from the housing vendor. They're not very cheap, but if you're doing something like this, it's a really nice way of following through with the theme. Now they got like the lever here. I would assume this could be set up to actually function if you use the interactables and want to do like a role play kind of thing. You could have it set so that this lever actually triggers a decor piece to kind of slam closed or whatever. But they're just using the holographic bar. It's got the several little bits as if it's just been opened. And then you come into the frozen goodies room, like the treasure room. I like how this guy looks pretty frozen. Have a few sickles shooting off the back of him, and he'll look like somebody shot him with a frozen ray or something. And everybody's got a thing for tacos. He's eating a taco. Notice again, he's in his little wintry outfit, sort of. Got no sleeves, but I guess he's buff and can handle it. All right, Siskwe. Thanks for dropping by. Hope to see you later. Even went to the trouble of adding the icicles all along this top side and everything. It's just a fun idea. I'm sure as December approaches, we will be seeing more and more of these winter type plots. We may even revisit some of those that we've seen in the past to kind of give everybody a refresher over it. But I just thought it was an unusual approach. Usually you'd go into the house and expect it to be looking like a house, and instead it's this little very frozen wintry cave kind of thing. So okay, so the last one for today is Kedam Wrathstorm. It's always funny to see that popped together as it's rendering. This is called the Blood Hunt Village. It's kind of a jungly, native kind of thing. Again, this is one of those that there's some things that aren't so mind-boggling, and others you're thinking, huh, I never would have thought of, using it like that. So this is like a little village scene plucked right out of the world. Let's just start over here. So you got little things like this, like all the little shrooms. You got this little pedestal with the sword leaning against it, but all the little plants and different stones. And then you got these planks leading up to the ramp here, and that leads you to this little abode. You can see that they tried blocking in part of the roof on the end with granite style pillars, using those for trim on parts of it. Other parts are the Draken pillars, and then it's exile floors and arches for the building. Lots of rugs, so it's got that real native feel. Even part of the tree they accommodated by just building a little opening for it, part of the tree root coming through. Just kind of incorporated it so they didn't damage the tree to put the house there. Notice all the plants, they filled this, these are specifically placed there, all the different little plants for their herb groupings. The little sword rack here. It's just 2x4s and metal edge blocks. Countertop, it's started as a couple of Draken pillars, but they've topped it with flat metal tables to kind of give it a little cleaner look, to hide that gap between the two pillars. You see the interior of the roof as well, all the pillars being used for that. You don't see that from the outside because they got that covered with, so they took care in building up that roofing. Most of us probably would have just left it as the floors, and that was it. Okay, so that's one of the little abodes. I think this is supposed to be maybe the weapons guy, and that's his place where he makes them, and that's his little sign kind of thing. Again, all of these little plants are dotted in by hand. So here's a little like an altar kind of thing. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the top of a Draken cabinet wardrobe thing. It's the one with the spear sticking in the side, I think. This is just the very tip top of it. Makes a good little offering table. It's just like this. This is the, I think it's the Doomsday lopstick or something. It's just the top of it. Got the nice bit of horns. Just like I think this one actually is on a really tall pedestal and they just sunk it down so it looks like a little squatty or seer thing. Just like this here is a cauldron with one of those Draken ritual pots stuck down inside it, and then got the skull on it. It's probably the one from the oh, what's it called? Jade's Eve. So here's like the center bonfire where all the villagers come and do a celebration or bring in the new year, I don't know. But this one is, it's basically that thing here enlarged, and then they've added thorny logs to make that little teepee pillar thing. All right, Bones, have a good meeting. And then added some thorny brambles as well to kind of beef it up a little bit. So you got this really huge bonfire going. That fire sure is sparkly. Again, notice all the little flowers and the bushes and the mushrooms and the stones. All of those are placed special. Now this is one of those Protostar Insta Hills being used here for this little guy. Just chillaxing under his little tarp there. And then here we have a poor caged Gyrok in this one. And look at all the pieces used for this. I mean, they've got a whole pulley system going to like lift up the door. So you have the tires at the top sandwiched with 2x4s and then hanging chains to work as the pulley system. And then like it's anchored here with more chain, and then that's what would open this door here. So again, this would be a fun thing to set up as a an interactable. Someone could flip a switch down here, like maybe this is a lever or something, and you know, role play that, you know, the creatures get set loose or something. But it's decking pieces, lots of 2x4s to make this little crate bit, some barbed wire fence. There's all kinds of fence posts, lamp posts, mossy overgrowth there. It's a really intricately built little contraption here. I mean, it looks like junk from a distance, but on closer inspection, you see the work that went into putting it together. Yeah, that'd be good. I'm hoping there's some new stuff, but for those that missed it last year, I do hope that a lot of the stuff that was there last year returns. So this is a little cave area hidden by the banner. Again, lots of candles, those ritual pots. Again, top them off just to give them a little creepiness. This one looks weird. Got a little river going through, even. I guess that one comes with the skull on it. And it was just set inside there. I never noticed the skull before. Isn't that weird? And this is the dead animal pile. There's all kinds of carcasses here. It's pretty gross. I guess this is what happens to the ones that get out of the cage. This is where they go. So I guess this is supposed to be the survivalist Draken. She's the one that butchers up the animals that they catch, strings up the meat to dry, and they make bacon and stuff. As you can see, most of the surroundings are these mossy trees, and then large Osun bits, like there's the banner there. I think that's either a drum or the front end bit. A couple of like the ruby-eyed thing. Here's another one of those insta-hills. You can always tell when an insta-hill is being used here, at least in this instance, because the insta-hills, while they replicate the ground cover below them, they don't take on the clutter. So there's all this clutter, the little weeds and stuff, and then suddenly there's none. And that's a dead giveaway as to when people are using it. The only time that doesn't show up as much is if you have the clutter turned off. So this is the one that's got the little hole in it, I think, and they just turned it into a little pool. So we've got these stones and a little waterfall coming out of it, like so. Now I'm going to hop up here to show you what we're getting ready to go inside. But you can see like there's lots of furs and tarps, and then this structure. And this really reminds me of something like out of World of Warcraft, from like the orc area, Ogrimmar. This topping looks just like what you'd see from there. So if you're looking to make something themed along that, these awnings really work well with that. But you get to it from the log. Go through the log, and that gets you to the interior of this building that they built. So that's the tunnel, and where the tarps and the furs and stuff line the walls. Got a little bit of draken fencing, but not a whole lot, just to kind of keep you boxed in nicely. And then this little building, it's curved walls, draken pillars, and I like how they're using the spooky lanterns, the lamp posts, as little sconces here to have the things dangling. Okay, let's see if I can get up here. I did it earlier and wasn't sure. So this is a good look to the interior here. Just there's a lot of stuff you just wouldn't notice or wouldn't expect to see, but you see all of it right here. A lot of it is beams from the awnings that are being used up top. Same way with these ropes and things that you see dangling. It's all part of those awnings. But like the granite pillars, those are added in. Same way with the cylinders, they went ahead and went through the trouble of adding those in. So it's like a really elaborate support for the roofing there. I don't know if maybe it's meant that eventually they would be building some of these so you can get up to the top. I have no idea. Using the, I think it's falcon fencing for the railing here. Who knows what's going to go up here. I would assume herbs and pots and goodies for the witch that lives here, because that looks like a witch's pot. Now, I don't think there's anything else out here, but we're going to see if we can get around just to make sure. Get myself stuck is what I'm going to end up doing. But you can see this structure from the back. I give you an idea of what it looks like. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. It's mostly just really oversized trees, some rocks for that little bit in the cave. There's a good shot. See how that roof looks just like, and see it's even open there, so I assume they're probably going to build it so that you can actually go up the tower, up inside it. It'd be tricky though, because that looked fairly small and you're going to have to do some kind of staircase getting up, or a jumping thing going from bit to bit. But that's the little house of the armorer guy. Look, they even got like the archway here. It's like an old abandoned Osun area, and they've just built up this little type village type of thing inside it, amongst it. That's something out there. I can't tell. Let's go have a look, just so I don't miss something. No, it's just okay. So I think that just leaves the interior, which I really can't remember what's in here. I like the exterior for sure. Ah, yeah. It's kind of basically just a straightforward interior. There's not a whole lot going on. It did nice with the boxing up for the door to make it look like it fits better than the archway that's given. They just use Draken walls to kind of box it in so that it looks right. You come downstairs, that's the bedroom. They got a little miniature king plush there. The shelves being used as shelves, and fascinating. And then upstairs is, again, they did the same thing, I think. Yeah, boxed it in so it fits better. The archways and stuff that they give us are just so awkward sometimes. But I wanted to mention the staircase. Can anyone guess what those are? Stairs? I know what they are. I'm just wondering if anyone else can figure out what they are. I'll give you a minute to answer. But I like this little simple nightstand. It's just a metal-edged cube, and there's some, things next to it. The shield and the sword and the goodies. No, he's a warrior, but he's got to have his night creams and stuff like that. Or maybe it's a girl warrior, I don't know. No one's got a guess for what the stairs are made of? The little platform here is just Draken walls topped with a Draken floor for the thing, and then just added the new Draken stairs. Makes it a nice little pedestal thing. Nope, it is not a normal staircase. For one, it's curved, so that wouldn't work quite right with normals. They're utensils. It's spoon, fork, knife, one of those. But those are the handles, the wooden handles of a utensil. You can see a little bit of utensil there, hooking into the wall. But it's the handle of like a spoon, a fork, knife, one of those. But I thought, oh, I've not seen anyone use that before. I thought that's kind of it's a nice wood, a little awkward shaped. So maybe they use different pieces or something. I don't know, but kind of wider on this edge, so I think it works good for a curved stairway. But yeah, it's just an interesting use. So yeah. It took me a little bit to figure it out. I was like, what is that? Because I thought, man, those would like make good the fan blades. In fact, I think we've seen somebody use those as a fan blade thing. And then that's when I remembered that it was probably the spoons or something. It's spoon, fork, one of those. I don't think we saw a little camp man here. I like his. It just looks silly because I'm like, the legs are sticking out. Anywho, so that is Kadam Wrathstorm's Blood Hunt Village. Again, maybe these plots aren't like full blown, custom everything like some of us like to build. But it's always nice to come and visit plots like this because there are things that you can go, that's a good idea. I'll take that and expand on it, blend it with something else and make something new out of it. It's just little ideas. I mean, like we've seen lots and lots of bonfire type combinations, and this is just another version, and someone might like that. Maybe they don't like the horns of the fire, but the pillar idea might get them, and so they'll use a different type of fire for it, but have a similar idea, kind of thing like that. So yeah, yeah, see, that's what it is. It's this thing here. I don't know what it's called. It's drinking something. So yeah, hope you guys had fun. Again, if you have any idea of any homes, whether they are on Dominion side or Exile side on Jabbit, that I have yet to tour, and you feel that they deserve a tour, be sure and let me know. I keep a running list of my own, but that's generally just for me random visiting at odd times and putting together my own list. Of course, most of those on the list, especially on Dominion side, are all works in progress. And that makes it kind of tough on me for when it comes time to showcase some. Then I struggle trying to find those that are actually done. But yeah, feel free to make some, submit some suggestions of places that you think should be toured or could be toured. And that includes any that you think should be retoured. Namely, we're looking for, if we're going to retour a plot, the changes have to be pretty significant. It's not like they've just added a little, corner or something. It needs to be like a lot of difference from what it was. I think probably a good example of that would be Flood's plot. I think there was like half the plot was missing when we first visited. I mean, it looked great even with the plot only half done, but we were able to go back later once Flood was finished with it and got to see it in all its glory. And that's a good example. Or maybe they decided to change the theme. I think Ruby on Dominion side is currently working on a new version of their plot. So things like that, be sure and let me know about too. And if you have a plot yourself, it doesn't have to be someone else's, it can be yours. I can't guarantee I'll get to them when you want me to get to them, but I will certainly add them to my list. Just a reminder, we have the scheduled maintenance coming up later today. It's 4 a.m. PDT, 1 p.m. CEST time. It's supposed to last an hour and 40 minutes, I think. As well, we have the double XP explosion event going on this weekend from the 2nd to the 5th, I believe it was. So a great time to level up those alts. Or, if you have a high level character and you're just trying to squeeze out those last few levels, this is a good time to finish it off. And also a final reminder, I will not be streaming tomorrow or Friday. I'm just going to go ahead and finish off the rest of the week, let myself recoup as much as possible, and we'll pick things up on Monday. So that means Monday we'll be announcing September's CBDC theme. So if you're interested in trying to participate with that and want to get an early start on it, be sure and join us on Monday for that, or at least follow along the tweets and stuff, because I'll be tweeting it and stuff too. So yeah, in the meantime, I wish you all a very pleasant day, and rest of the week, and a happy weekend, and hope to see you next week. Until then, see you later. Bye-bye.